What is up? What is up, awesome people of the internet? Welcome to the Commissioner's Cup live stream as we talk through the Indiana Fever versus the Minnesota Lynx. Guys, this game is available on Amazon Prime. However, I'm watching Amazon Prime right now and it looks very glitchy. Is anybody else experiencing this glitchiness from Amazon Prime? Anybody else? I know I got some really, really good internet, and I know it's not my internet connection. Is anybody else experiencing a very strange glitchiness when it comes to Amazon Prime? Anybody else? I'm very much curious to hear your experience so far. But we are going to do a watch and talk as we talk through this game. There is $500,000 at stake here, and yeah, we about to see what happens. We are about to see what happens. Okay. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just me. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just me. But it is very glitchy for me. All right, again, we have Napheesa Collier and the Minnesota Lynx versus Kelsey Mitchell and the Indiana Fever. This is going to be a very, very fun game because there's a lot of money at stake. However, this is a game that is all about the moolah. All about the money, honey, okay? All about the money. And again, there is like a very weird glitch that I am getting on my Amazon Prime, and so I'm trying to stall while I try to troubleshoot with my phone. Because yeah, I don't know. There we go. Now it's working perfectly fine. Perfect. We had Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Napheesa Collier, and others in the starting lineup for the Minnesota Lynx. Caitlin is out. She is not playing in today's game. She does have a groin injury. And so we'll see what the Indiana Fever are able to do without her. Again, I thought it was going to be a loss even with her playing. It would be closer. But without Caitlin, I think it's over. I do think that the Minnesota Lynx will win. However, fingers crossed that it's a close game. I would love for this to be a very, very close game. I would love it. Bridget Carlton, Kayla McBride, Alana Smith, Courtney Williams, and Napheesa Collier in the starting lineup for the Minnesota Lynx. She has a groin injury. All right, here we go. Commissioner's Cup game, $500,000 on the line. Hey, Kelsey Mitchell has to have a masterclass if her team is going to win, okay? They got to have a masterclass. Arian McDonald, Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell in the starting lineup for Indiana. And the Minnesota Lynx get tip-off. Courtney Williams with basketball. Get to Bridget Carlton. To Napheesa Collier's turnaround jumper. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy for Napheesa Collier. Ari McDonald with the basketball. Guarded by Courtney Williams. Ari gets it to Aaliyah Boston. AB. Oh, good backdoor pass to Kelsey Mitchell, who makes the layup with the bump from behind. I like that. We got to see more of that as this game progresses for the Indiana Fever. Napheesa Collier to Bridget Carlton. Carlton surveys, gets the screen. Carlton gets to the rim, passes out to Alana Smith. Misses the three-point shot. Natasha Howard gets the rebound. Natasha Howard to Ari McDonald. Ari tries to get the pass off. Ball was tipped. It is stolen by Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams gets it to Alana Smith for the layup, and the crowd kind of goes wild. All right, Natasha Howard think she traveled when she just got that no travel call. Gets it to Kelsey Mitchell, who goes for a 3-point shot. She misses. Rebound goes to Courtney Williams, whose hair matches her shoes. Courtney Williams once again gets it to Atlanta Smith, but she misses the contested layup. Aaliyah Boston with the basketball. AB trying to back down Nafisa Collier. Nafisa's having none of that. She gets it out to Natasha Howard. Howard to Ari McDonald. Ari McDonald with the 3-point bucket. Okay, Ari. Okay, you better be on your big one. I like that. I like that. Nafisa Collier to Bridget Carlton. Bridget Carlton in the lane. BC misses. Natasha Howard gets the rebound. To Aaliyah Boston. To Kelsey Mitchell. KM with the mid-range bucket. Really good start for Indiana. Really, really good start. Bridget Carlton to Atlanta Smith. Atlanta gets to Kayla McBride. Kayla with a long 2 shots. Long 2-point bucket for Kayla McBride. Looks like her foot was on the line. Ari McDonald with the basketball. Ari goes to the rim. Ari's like, you don't scare me, Bridget Carlton. Gets to the rim and gets the bucket. Courtney Williams, slip pass to Atlanta Smith, who once again misses the layup. That was contested. That possibly could have been a foul. No foul was called. Natasha Howard takes it all the way down. She misses. And Aaliyah Boston gets the ball as well. She misses as well. The ball goes out of bounds. It is Minnesota basketball. Wow. We just saw basically basically point-blank shots missed by both teams. You got to hit those. You got to hit those shots. You got to hit those shots. Goro says this court goes hard. It took me a while to figure out what it said. It says WNBA on the court. Nafisa Collier backing down. Natasha Howard, turnaround, fadeaway, jumper, misses. Rebound goes to Aaliyah Boston. All right. Aaliyah Boston tries to do a slip pass, but the ball was knocked out of bounds. They're saying it's Minnesota basketball. Oh, they reversed the call. Okay. It is Indiana basketball. So, guys, if y'all are not able to watch this game because you don't have Amazon Prime, well, listen to the watch and talk. It's kind of like a radio broadcast of sorts. Aaliyah Boston gets to the rim, misses. Rebound goes to Atlanta Smith. Courtney Williams with the basketball. Courtney gets a screen. Courtney, the mid-range assassin at the nail, makes the bucket. Ari McDonald to Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey gets a screen. Kelsey gets to the lane, tries to do a behind-the-back pass on Natasha Howard, but Natasha wasn't checking for the basketball. She wasn't expecting that. Turnover for Kelsey Mitchell. The ball goes out of bounds. I appreciate it, Darren. Appreciate the support. There's a foul on the floor. Aaliyah Boston is called for the foul. All right. Nafisa Collier to Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams for a 3-point shot, and she hits it. Courtney Williams showing off that range. Yeah, we all know she's a mid-range assassin, but she's like, hey, you know what? I can step it back a little bit. Step it back, make the bucket. Ari McDonald with the basketball, guarded by Kayla McBride. Gets a screen. As a moving screen. No foul was called on that. Ari McDonald picks up her dribble, gets to the Lexi Hull. Hull, back to McDonald. McDonald, time is winding down. What's she going to do? Gets to the Lexi Hull. Lexi Hull tries to get a shot at the buzzer, but does not get the shot off in time. We do have a shot clock violation. Major turnover for the Indiana Fever. We'll see how they play some defense, see if they can get the stop. And it looks like the WNBA has a drone in use for today's game. Some aerial footage of sorts. Nafisa Collier has the basketball. Going up against Natasha Howard. Nafisa Collier is like, you know what? I'm going to kiss it off the glass, make the bucket in. What about that foul? No foul was called, but Nafisa does make the shot. Now on the other end, Nafisa Collier with active hands denies the basketball, forces the steal, and Courtney Williams tries to pass the basketball to Alana Smith on that fast break, but ends up knocking it out of bounds. It is going to be Fever basketball when we return back. We do have our first break of the game, guys. The score is 13, Minnesota, 9, Indiana. I would say overall, good start. We'll see how this game continues. We will absolutely see. But guys, what do y'all think so far about today's start? Any thoughts? Overall, I am impressed with the fast-ish start that we saw from Indiana. With those 7 quick buckets, that was pretty nice. That was pretty nice. Dion says Fee is truly a beast. I mean, she is. I mean, yeah, it's hard to deny. It is very difficult to deny how good of a player Nafisa Collier is, okay? I'm just saying. She is a great player. Any predictions you all have for the game? Again, we are at timeout. And if you all are just checking out the stream and you're like, what is this? What is she doing? Well, I am doing a basically radio broadcast of this game, a watch and talk of sorts. We're going to talk through the game as it happens. I know that some of y'all do not have Amazon Prime, and so you're unable to watch the game live. But this is the second best thing. You can't watch it live, but you can hear about it live as it's happening. You all know how there's like radio broadcasts primarily for like men's sports, and so this is what I'm trying to do as well for the WNBA. As games happen, as I am able to, I will go live and we will talk through these games. And Mr. President is very excited about today's game. I'm excited as well, as we will see a whole bunch of money get handed out. Last season, we saw the Minnesota Lynx win that pot of money. And this year, Courtney Williams like, you know what? I want that money again. I want that money again. And so we'll see what happens on that front. Keena says, predicting the Lynx take the cup. I believe that as well. Jim says, prediction Fee 25 plus points. Okay. I could see that. Darren says, my first time watching you, I will be watching again. Well, salute to you. Thank you so much for the support. Really do appreciate it. Yes, the money is divided amongst the team. Yes. So not each player is not getting $500,000, but it is divided amongst the team. All right, we are returning back as Indiana is trying to inbound the basketball. Ball goes to Kelsey Mitchell. She gets to the Ari McDonald, and Ari McDonald is ready to bring the ball up. Ari, guarded by Courtney Williams, calling out of play. She's calling for the screen from Aaliyah Boston. Ari didn't get the slip pass over to her. Gets it to Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell tries to slice it to Natasha Howard. Ball was almost stolen. Ari McDonald has it. She gets it back to Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard misses the shot. Gets her own rebound. Misses that as well. She gets it back. Misses that as well, as Bridget Carlson finally gets the rebound. Man, Natasha Howard, she had so many looks but was not able to make a bucket. I think that was 3 missed shots on that attempt down the floor. Ari McDonald with the basketball again. Gets it to Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey, jab step. Kelsey gets the screen. Thinking about something. She gets it to Ari McDonald. Ari to Aaliyah Boston. Back to Ari. Ari, quick trigger 3. Misses. Rebound goes to Nafisa Collier. Really good defense by the Minnesota Lynx. Nafisa to Courtney Williams. Courtney gets the screen to Alana Smith. They're trying to get it down low to Nafisa. They do. Nafisa 1 against 2. It passes back out to Atlanta Smith. Atlanta Smith with the 3-point bucket. Really, really, really nice. Nice job seeing what the defense is giving you and making a play out of it for Nafisa Collier. All right, Kelsey Mitchell with the basketball to Lexi Hall at the top of the key. Lexi picks up her dribble, gets it to Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard hits the back end of the iron. Kayla McBride gets the rebound. She gets it to Atlanta Smith, who just throws it up. She just threw something up. She actually made that shot. I couldn't believe it. And we got Cheryl Reeve that's looking. Cheryl Reeve looked at Natisha Heidemann like, you just saw that? You just saw that bucket that Atlanta Smith just made? Yes. The Australian, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. What a crazy shot that was. That looked insane. She just threw something up there. Atlanta Smith makes the bucket. She just knocked down a 3-point shot, and they show on a replay of it. She had her back to the basket, and she literally did like that, and she made it. Wow. Wow, Atlanta. You better do your thing, girl. The Australian you. We have another timeout on the floor, guys. The score is 18 Minnesota, 9 Indiana. We got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the first quarter. I mean, this is pretty entertaining, guys. This is pretty entertaining. I gotta admit, guys. Marty says, I got Lynx. And says, I hope it's a nail biter. It will be history, whoever wins this game. First ever back-to-back Commissioner's Cup win or first ever Fever Commissioner's Cup win. I'm excited. Go, ladies. Yeah, this should be pretty fun. We do have some substitutions on the court right now. Sophie Cunningham is in the game for the Indiana Fever, along with Sydney Colson as well on the court. And for the Minnesota Lynx, we got Natisha Heidemann in the game as Sydney Colson goes for a 3-point bucket. Okay, see it. All right, see it. I like that. I am a fan of that. Minnesota 18, Indiana 12. Courtney Williams with the basketball. Gets it to Natisha Heidemann, and there is an offensive foul on the floor. Offensive foul turnover. As an offensive foul by Courtney Williams with the moving screen, which, yeah, that was a foul. Oh, we got Michaela Timpson in the game as well for the Indiana Fever. Kelsey Mitchell goes for the mid-range bucket. She misses. Rebound goes to Nafisa Collier. She gets it to Courtney Williams. Courtney with the basketball. Courtney has Sophie Cunningham on her. Gets it to Nafisa Collier. Nafisa against the rookie. She like, hey, this light work. This light work makes the bucket pretty easily against Michaela Timpson. Kelsey Mitchell with the basketball. Gets it to Sydney Colson. Colson surveying. Gets it to Aaliyah Boston. AB making a move. AB misses the shot. Rebound ultimately trickles over to Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams picks up her dribble to Nafisa Collier. And they're like, hey, where's the foul? Back to Courtney Williams. Michaela Timpson is called for the foul. Again, thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Again, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. We're doing a watch and talk as we watch and talk through the Minnesota Lynx versus the Indiana Fever, guys. This is the Commissioner's Cup game. There is $500,000 on the line for the winning group. Turnover. Sydney Colson with the basketball to Ari McDonald. Ari thought about 3-point shot, gets it back to Sydney Colson. And there is a foul down low as Jessica Shepard gets called, trying to keep the ball away from Aaliyah Boston. All right. Ari McDonald gets the screen. Ari probes a little bit, comes right back out, picks up her dribble. Gets to Sydney Colson. Time is winding down. 3 on the shot clock. Colson has to do something. She splits the defense, but nothing doing on that end. Throws the ball away, and it is another turnover by the Minnesota Lynx, guys. They are a very good defensive team, and we are seeing that in front of our very own eyes. Jessica Shepard with the basketball. Gets it to Natisha Heidemann. Heidemann tries to pass it back to Shepard, but the ball was tipped away, stolen by Timpson. It goes up to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham tries to pass it back out. She does. Gets to the Ari McDonald. To Sydney Colson. The Fever have to look for Aaliyah Boston. Colson misses the shot. Ball is saved by Aaliyah Boston. Ari McDonald with the basketball. Ari to Colson. Back to Ari. Gets the screen. That was a moving screen. No foul was called on that one. Aaliyah Boston goes for the mid-range bucket. She misses. As we hit the end of the first quarter, guys, the score is 20 Minnesota, 12 Indiana. All right, guys, we do have a break in the game as we have reached the end of the first quarter. What do y'all think so far? What do y'all think about the game so far? I mean, it's more of what I kind of expected. Yes, the Indiana Fever are trying to be competitive, but we see this Minnesota Lynx team. Yeah, they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. Oh yeah. Caitlin is not playing. She is out. She is out. Kevin says you may have to close the live chat for a sec to see the like button. Thank you so much, Kevin, for letting the people know. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. But again, guys, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Goro says nice first quarter, but Minnesota is doing Minnesota things. I mean, yeah. Darren says it's going to be a close game because of Kelsey Mitchell, in my opinion. Well, Darren, I hope your opinion is right. I don't really care who wins. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. Either team, yeah, is making history. Either team who wins. But what I do want, though, is a close game. Am I anticipating a close game? No. I think it's going to get unwieldy in the fourth quarter with Minnesota easily cruising to victory. However, I would love for Indiana to stay as close as possible in this game and possibly get the upset. If they get the upset, man, I will be so excited because here's the thing. I like upsets. I don't care who wins. I want it to be close, and I would love it if the team I don't expect to win wins. Right? Big says you're the only Chicago Sky fan I rock with. Okay. Is that a dig on other Sky fans? There's some really awesome Sky fans. I know a bunch of them in real life that actually go to the games with me. They sit in my section. Shout out to my section. I forgot what the number of my section is at Sky Games, but hey, shout out to them. They're some awesome people. Okay. Freemium says, feel bad for Fever, have no chance here, especially for $500,000. The Lynx are likely to win it all this year. Here's the deal. Yes, the Lynx are a really good team, and yes, the Fever have an uphill battle. However, y'all know the motto. Respect the motto. Anybody can get got. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how great of a team you have. You can lose. You can and will lose if you don't show up and show out for 40 minutes in a game. And so we'll see how this game turns out. Yes, I do have a prediction, but hey, I would love it if I'm wrong. I think that'd be really fun. I think that would be really, really fun. Offensive foul on the floor. Looks like that was an offensive foul. All right, Natisha Heidemann, running point for the Minnesota Lynx, gets it to, I'm sorry, that was a traveling call. Oh, gets it to Courtney Williams to Maria for the layup. Ari McDonald with the basketball in the corner to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie for a quick trigger three. Misses. Rebound goes to Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams, pull up, mid-range J. Misses. Rebound goes to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie. Guarded by Bridget Carlton. Gets it to Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard gets fouled by Maria Kunikova. And Natasha Howard is going to head to the line for 2 shots. Angie says, so far this game has no makings of an upset. It doesn't, but all it takes is a run here and some defense there. Basketball is a game of runs, okay? And we're going to see. All right, made free throws by Natasha Howard. Bridget Carlton to Natisha Heidemann. Heidemann gets fouled by Ari McDonald. She's going to head to the line for 2 shots. Yeah, Angie. Timpson was. She came in really, really early in the Dallas game as well. I was like, oh, okay. And I thought she held her own in the game against Dallas, and we'll see what she's able to do today. When she was in that first quarter, she struggled against Napheesa Collier because Napheesa Collier is Napheesa Collier. She's going to get her points and whatnot. But we'll see what Michaela Timpson is able to do today. It's great to see her in this early, but hey, it's not about just getting in early. It's about making sure that you can make an impact for your team. Oh! Natisha Heidemann missed the second free throw, and the ball ended up with Jessica Shepard, and she makes the bucket. Wow. 25 Minnesota, 14 Indiana. Ari McDonald throws it out of bounds, and she's like, hey, wasn't there a foul somewhere? No foul was called, as the Indiana Fever are getting a little bit frustrated. And we'll see how the Indiana Fever fare the rest of this game. But yeah, this is a run. This is a run by Minnesota. Courtney Williams gets it to Jessica Shepard. Jessica Shepard, what a spin move on Natasha Howard. Makes the layup. Good to go. Y'all, Jessica Shepard has been really, really, really good for this Minnesota Lynx team this year. She was not in the WNBA last season, but it's great to see her this year rocking and rolling. And that was a great offensive scheme for her. And on the other end, Natasha Howard just makes the bucket. So 16 points for the Indiana Fever. Jessica Shepard with the basketball. Shepard to Bridget Carlton. BC gets it to Maria. Gets it to Courtney Williams. Courtney. Mid-range assassin misses the shot. Rebound goes to Ari McDonald. Ari with the basketball. Guarded by Natisha Heidemann. Gets it to Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey to Natasha Howard. Howard gets trapped. Passes out to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie makes the 3-point bucket as Aaliyah Boston is getting ready to check back in for the Indiana Fever. When Aaliyah gets in, Indiana actually has to run plays for her. She hasn't really had any touches in today's game so far. Courtney Williams to Jessica Shepard to Natisha Heidemann. Time is winding down. What's she going to do? She gets the ball. Take it away. Good defense by Howard and Simpson to Kelsey Mitchell, who jags the layup. Natisha Heidemann with the basketball. It's Courtney Williams. Courtney gets the screen. Courtney Williams goes around the horn, passes out to Bridget Carlton. BC misses the shot. Ball goes out of bounds. It is the Indiana Fever basketball. TG with the soda says team chemistry has no weak link right now. Yeah. Hey, the Lynx are a very fully meshed team. Kelsey Mitchell misses the shot. Indiana does get the offensive rebound. And Aaliyah Boston gets fouled. There's a foul on Jessica Shepard, and she's upset about it. And Shepard is going to head to the bench. As Eric Tebow stood up to instruct the team on something. His father just won the gold medal game for Eurobasket as Team Belgium, ended up winning the whole thing. So shout out to Coach Mike Tebow, the WNBA legend. Sydney Colson with the runner. Colson misses. Rebound goes to Bridget Carlton, but she gets it poked away. Sydney Colson with the ball back again. Colson off the screen to Kelsey Mitchell. A lot of second chance opportunities for the Indiana Fever. Kelsey Mitchell lost the basketball. It goes over to Sydney Colson, but too little too late. It is a shot clock violation. Indiana's trying to get back in this game, but they are still down by 8. 27 Minnesota, 19 Indiana. Angie says as soon as 24 gets back in, points go up. And if some of y'all are like, who in the world is number 24? It's Nafisa Collier. It's Nafisa Collier. Honestly says, y'all tell Caitlin Clark to sit down. Hey, yeah, Caitlin has been in her sort of coaching bag on the bench. Yeah, she's only played in 9 games so far this year, but in those other games, she's been rocking on the bench, just walking around, getting her, talking to her teammates, yelling at the refs. She's doing her greatest coaching impression. And I will say this, I totally get coaching vibes from her once she retires. Now, that's going to be a long time from now, but whenever she retires, I think she'd be a great coach. I think she'd be a great coach. Hands down. W. Bazile says Minnesota needs to box out for those defensive rebounds. Yeah, once Nafisa comes in the game, I think that'll change a little bit. Bill says, do you like Aerial Powers? Yeah, I like her. She got waived from the Golden State Valkyries. Didn't get that much of she didn't get that much of an opportunity to play, but hey, I think she'll be back in the league for sure. She's been a really good player in the W, but if you don't count that year that the last year that she was with Minnesota, right? If you don't count that, then yeah, she's a really, really good player. Kune says, only time I would ever root for the Lynx is today. Fair enough. Eunice says Lynx defense is too good for the Fever. Yeah, but if at the end of the day they don't box out, give second chance opportunities for the Fever. We will see as this game progresses what happens. But so far, so good for the Minnesota Lynx. All right, we are starting back up again. Natisha Heidemann with the basketball. Gets it to Bridget Carlton. To Alana Smith. To number 24, Nafisa Collier in the game. Backing down. Natasha Howard. Turnaround. Fadeaway jumper for Nafisa Collier. She hits the back end of the iron. Rebound Fever. Kelsey Mitchell with the basketball. Kelsey gets it to AB. To Sydney Colson. Colson thought about the mid-range jumper. Gets it to Kelsey Mitchell. Nice dump pass. Very, very nice job. Heidemann. Bridget Carlton. To Nafisa, who misses the three-point shot. Sydney Colson has the ball. Gets it to Aaliyah Boston. AB missed the shot. Ball is tipped over to Sydney Colson. Another offensive rebound for the Indiana Fever. Kelsey Mitchell misses a three. Rebound goes to Alana Smith. Natisha Heidemann with the runner. Just hits all backboard. She's like, hey, wasn't that a foul? No, it wasn't. Sydney Colson to Alana Smith, to Aaliyah Boston. AB to Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey with the mid-range bucket for 2. And we are just down to just 4 points. Minnesota has to score, and another turnover for Minnesota and a foul on Bridget Carlton. Wow. Yeah, Indiana's coming back in this game. Hey. They are coming back in this one. We'll see as this game kind of progresses on from here. Sydney Colson with the basketball. It's Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey, long 2-point shot, misses. Rebound Lynx. Courtney Williams. Slip pass to Nafisa Collier, who misses the shot. This team has not scored in forever. Sydney Colson with the basketball. They have an opportunity to bring it down to 2 points. Kelsey Mitchell to Colson. Gets it to Aaliyah Boston. AB makes the move and scores. It is a 2-point game, ladies and gentlemen. I told y'all basketball is a game of runs. And right now, Cheryl Reeve is not happy that her team has not scored in 4+ minutes. She calls a timeout as she's going to get her team to regroup because, not great. Not great for the Minnesota Lynx as the Indiana Fever are clawing their way back into this game. 27 Minnesota Lynx, 25 Indiana Fever. Hey, what do y'all think, y'all? Hey, what do you think? What do you think? Again, basketball is a game of runs. So I expect to see more runs than this as this game continues on. Okay? Really good job by Indiana, though. When you get Kelsey Mitchell involved early, really good things happen. The last couple of plays, what did she do? 3-point shot, right? Mid-range jumper at the nail, right? That's what it takes. It takes Kelsey Mitchell being Kelsey Mitchell. We all know that Kelsey Mitchell is a walking bucket. We all know that, right? That's not a shocker to anybody. However, if she's able to get going early, it proves very good for her team. For example, remember she had 32 points, 31, 32 points against the Dallas Wings. Get going early. And good things happen. So we'll see as this game continues, guys. We'll see what happens. But again, guys, we are doing a watch and talk as we are going through the Indiana Fever versus the Minnesota Lynx. The Indiana Fever had a rough-ish start in that first quarter, and they are roaring back in the second. In terms of scores, Kelsey Mitchell does lead the charge with 8 points. Eric McDonald has 7. AB and Natasha Howard with 2 points apiece. We got Sydney Colson with a 3 and Sophie Cunningham with a 3 as well for the Fever. And for the Minnesota Lynx, it's all about Alana Smith. She is leading the charge with 7 points, including a crazy behind the back, over the shoulder, I should say, type of layup that she had in that first quarter. We also have Nafisa Collier with 6 points. Courtney Williams with 5. Jessica Shepard with 4. We have Kayla McBride with 2. Maria Kunikova with 2 as well. And Letitia Heidemann with 1 made free throw. All right. We'll see as this game continues to go on. Con Lenny says you can feel the tension in the air. You think so? All right, we are getting ready to go back in it. All right. Jessica Shepard with the basketball. She's trying to get it to Nafisa Collier. Now, ball goes to Nafisa. Passes back out to Alana Smith. She misses the 3-point shot. Rebound goes to Aaliyah Boston. That was a very good look offensively for Minnesota, but she just misses the shot. Kelsey Mitchell to Sydney Colson to Sophie Cunningham. Misses. Rebound Minnesota. Kayla McBride to Courtney Williams. Courtney picks up. Offensive foul by Nafisa Collier. Wow. Hey, that ref, she doesn't have curly hair anymore. She has her hair in a ponytail. Yeah, foul by Nafisa. That was a foul. Aaliyah Boston misses the shot. Gets her own rebound. Passes out to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie with the 3-point bucket. Indiana gets the lead. 28 Indiana, 27 Minnesota. Minnesota cannot buy a bucket. You can see the frustration on their faces. Nafisa Collier gets the bump, goes for the fadeaway. She misses. Yeah, you could tell Nafisa Collier is not happy. She is not happy at all. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. It is staying with the Indiana Fever. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sydney Colson goes for a 3-point shot. She misses. Loose ball foul against Natasha Howard. Tom says Quita is feeling really good. What does that mean? I am feeling good. It's a Tuesday. And I'm watching the WNBA. I mean, dog, what is there not to feel good about? All right, Jessica Shepard with the basketball. Jessica gets it to Courtney Williams, who tries to get it to a cutting Nafisa Collier. The ball was stolen. Natasha Howard goes for the bucket, gets fouled, and is going to head to the line for 2 shots. And once again, the Minnesota Lynx cannot buy a basket. They are turning over the basketball. It's just bad look. It's just a bad look. Bad look. Natasha Howard makes her first free throw. Jim says Minnesota better fix this. I mean, Cheryl Reeve, I'm sure, is getting after them. Like, hey, what in the world are y'all doing? They did score, but that was very early on. Another turnover. Wow. Wow. Courtney Williams collided with Natasha Howard. And she got, yeah. That was offensive foul by Courtney Williams, but she went down kind of hard. She's back up playing some defense. All right, Kelsey Mitchell to Natasha Howard. Howard gets another foul. Alana Smith is called for it. Wow. I will say, though, y'all, we've seen 2 moving screens called on the Minnesota Lynx. And those were moving screens. Goro, that was a moving screen. You got to give the space. You got to give space for the defender to be able to react. And so those were correct calls. However, notice that almost every single screen Aaliyah Boston sets, she is moving. She rarely stays still when setting a screen. So I'm just saying, you know, you got to call it. You got to call it when it happens, okay? Because she is almost always setting a moving screen. It just depends on whether or not the referees want to call it or not. Courtney Williams misses. Sydney Colson with the basketball. Gets to the Kelsey Mitchell. Mitchell gets to the rim. Mitchell misses the shot. Rebound goes to Courtney Williams. All right, time is winding down. Can Minnesota score again? Can they? We'll see. Courtney Williams gets the screen set first. She picks up her dribble. Gets it to Nafisa Collier. Nafisa, turnaround jumper. She misses. As we head to halftime with the Indiana Fever having the lead 32 to Minnesota's 27, guys, in that first quarter. Minnesota ends the quarter with 20 points. And we wind up seeing the Indiana Fever go on a massive, and I mean massive, run in that second quarter. 18 points for the Indiana Fever, just 7 for the Minnesota Lynx. They did not score in the last, 4, 5, 6 minutes? Minnesota horrible, close out to that quarter for Minnesota. They're getting frustrated, specifically at the refs. Here's the thing. The refs are going to ref. If you spend your time getting mad at the refs, complaining about this foul, and what about this foul, they grabbing me, they doing this, they doing that, you are slowly but surely getting farther and farther away from the game. Play the game. Let the refs ref. Yes. Are there some fouls that Indiana's doing that the refs are not calling? Sure. However, instead of you just complaining and being upset, Nafisa Collier took herself out of the game in the second quarter because she was getting bumped and she was getting fouled and she was, complaining, upset, all that good stuff. And what does that lead to? Nothing good. Just lots more missed shots. Lots more missed shots, lots more rush shots, lots more frustration. You have to play. Okay? It's dumb. At this point, it is dumb complaining to the refs and getting all frustrated for it. Why? What's the point? What's the point of getting frustrated? You're not going to change what the refs are doing. All you're doing is taking yourself out the game. That's all you're doing. That is all you are doing. I don't understand it. I do understand it, but at the same time, it's just like, come on, get it together. Like stop complaining and play. That's what I got to say. Okay, that's what I got to say. We all know that really Minnesota shouldn't be down. However, if you don't play and you let the refs get in your head, Indiana's going to take advantage. And that's what Indiana's doing. Sophie Cunningham, 2 big-time three-pointers in this game so far. Kelsey Mitchell doing a little bit of everything. 3-point shot, mid-range buckets, get into the rim, whatever she got to do, she is doing it. Aaliyah Boston is just trying to frustrate everybody. Things are happening, Captain. And you got to keep playing. Oh, wow, this is pretty cool. They got Kathy Engelbert for the interview. Guys, again, we are at halftime. We're not. We're at halftime, guys. And as normal, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to take a quick break at halftime as we regroup for the second half. Again, thank you so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. Skyscraper says, LOL, Quita making excuse already. I'm confused. What am I making excuses for? I am so confused. What is their excuse for? Here's the thing. Refs are going to ref. Stop complaining. Suck it up, Buttercup. And keep playing. Okay? It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. All right, guys. Let me play some music and let me move on. Oh, right. are back. We are back. As we head into the second half, a very low-scoring game so far. 32 Indiana Fever, 27 for the Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota went on a scoring drought in the second quarter. They did not score for about 8 minutes, and it's kind of like a wild stat. Only 7 points in that second quarter. And it was due to defense. It was due to Indiana forcing turnovers. Indiana still is not shooting well. However, they got some good stops, and they did make some good buckets in the second quarter. As we head into the third, Aaliyah Boston has the basketball. AB gets it to Kelsey Mitchell, to Ari McDonald, to Lexi Hull in the corner. She gets her shot blocked. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. It is staying with the Indiana Fever. Oh, good pass from Ari McDonald to Aaliyah Boston. Makes the layup. Alana Smith gets it to Courtney Williams. Courtney to Nafisa Collier. To Kayla McBride. To Alana Smith. To Nafisa. Finally, she scores. Kelsey Mitchell with the basketball. KM gets to the rim and makes the bucket. Nice shot by Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell was just doing just about everything right in this game. Again, showing off her full range. She could shoot threes. She could get mid-range buckets. And she can get to the rack as well. Courtney Williams picks up a dribble. Got to decide what to do. Gets it to Kayla McBride. Time is winding down. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Kayla McBride has to shoot something up. Alana Smith beats the shot clock. Nafisa Collier gets the ball. Oh, on the rebound, Alana Smith is fouled. Ball is staying with the Minnesota Lynx, I should say. Foul on Aaliyah. Courtney Williams tries to do the dump-off pass to Nafisa Collier. Ball was stolen. And Natasha Howard returns the favor. Kayla McBride cannot make the layup. What is going on? Everybody's missing shots today. Nafisa Collier gets stripped. And once again, she's complaining. Here's the thing. Stop complaining. Get back and play some defense. So many missed shots, guys. This is kind of crazy. Kelsey Mitchell misses a three-point shot. Alana Smith gets the rebound. Gets it to Courtney Williams. Courtney. Oh, really, really good defense. Another turnover for the Minnesota Lynx. Wow. Ari McDonald with the strip hits the ball off of Courtney Williams, and ball goes back to Indiana. Wow. Yeah, it's starting with defense with Indiana, and it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. Ari McDonald has the basketball. Gives it to Natasha Howard. Bridget Carlton just easily falls down. She was trying to draw the foul. Stop doing that. Play regular defense. Another turnover by the Minnesota Lynx. This team is severely flustered. They are flustered. They are frustrated. Sharif, go to your bench and put somebody else in. Put Jessica Shepard in. Put somebody else in. You got to figure something else out. Lexi Hull with the basketball. Gets it to Ari McDonald. Ari gets it to Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard ends up getting the ball stolen. And on the other end, Alana Smith is fouled on the layup. She's going to head to the line for 2 shots. Maybe this is going to be able to get Minnesota going. I don't know. Alana Smith makes the first free throw. Makes the second free throw. Eric McDonald gets it to Aaliyah Boston. AB. It's Kelsey Mitchell. Almost got the ball stolen. Picks up a dribble. Gets it to Natasha Howard. 4 on the shot clock. Natasha Howard with the runner. Let's go. Let's go, Tosh. Alana Smith goes for the 3-point bucket. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Natasha Howard with the basketball. Get to the Lexi Hall. Lexi. To Aaliyah Boston. AB misses the shot. Rebound goes to Bridget Carlton. Kayla McBride with the ball. To Courtney Williams. Courtney to BC. To Courtney Williams. Ball goes in the corner. Down low to Nafisa Collier. Fadeaway jumper. She misses. Hit everything but down the hole. Lexi Hull to Natasha Howard. There's a defensive foul on Kayla McBride. All right, Ari McDonald with the basketball. Gets it to Aaliyah Boston. To Lexi Hall. Thought about 3-point shot. Decides not to take it. Wasn't that like a double dribble? Shot clock violation for the Indiana Fever. Here's the thing. While Indiana has had a lot of really good defensive stops, offensively, their offensive game is still not good at all. Defensively, they've been doing their thing. Absolutely. Shutting down Minnesota. However, the reason why this game is only 6 points is because Indiana still cannot really get in the rhythm offensively. Because here's the deal. If your opponent does not score for 8 points, or for 8 minutes, they don't score a single point for 8 minutes, you should be up by more. And so Minnesota, while they're playing terrible, they're in a really good position to still wind up winning this game because, guys, it's only a 6-point game. It's only a 6-point game. Indiana has to start making more buckets on the offensive end. Yes, we've seen Kelsey Mitchell do her thing. We've seen Sophie. We've seen, Natasha Howard and others and whatnot. But here's the deal. You got to keep your foot on the pedal, not just defensively with some really good defense, but offensively as well, because you know the run is coming. You know Minnesota is coming. You're not going to keep them down for a super long time. So you got to be ready for when that run comes. You need to have enough of a lead to withstand that. If I am Stephanie White, that's what I'm telling my team. That's what I'm telling them. I'm saying, hey, you're playing good defense. That's great. But we need to increase the pressure on offense. We cannot continue to have possessions where it's going down to 4, 3, 2, and we gotta throw up a shot. We cannot continue to have shot clock violations and rush shots at the end. We got to get into our offensive sets on time so that way we're getting good looks at the right time. Defensively, nice job, Indiana. Offensively, we got a little bit more work to do. If I'm Stephanie White, that's what I'm telling my team. If I am Cheryl Reeve, I'm saying y'all better get it together. Y'all playing like crap. Stop complaining to the referees. Leave them alone. Don't say nothing. Don't look for no calls. Don't ask for no calls. Just play basketball. Just play basketball. Because at the end of the day, you know you better than this team. And you ain't playing like it. That's what I would say. A.L. Kune says, if this was your first WNBA game, you would think these ladies were terrible. Yeah, it's not a great look. It really isn't. A lot of missed shots. Kayla McBride, no foul was called. She misses the shot. Eric McDonald to Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey to Aaliyah Boston. Turns faces. Aaliyah Boston. Get to the Lexi Hull. Lexi Hull with the 3-point bucket. That was earlier in the shot clock. Good job by the Indiana Fever. Those are the opportunities that you want to see. Courtney Williams probes, takes it right back out. Gets it to Alana Smith. Alana to Courtney Williams. Time is winding down. Courtney Williams misses the shot. Rebound goes to Lexi Hull. Lexi to Kelsey Mitchell. To Aaliyah Boston. AB. Picks up her dribble. And not so great of a pass. It is a turnover. Minnesota basketball. Oh, good question, Dion. I'll answer it at the next timeout. Natasha Howard gets the steal and makes the layup. And we have a timeout on the floor. Cheryl Reeve, put in your bench players. Put in Diamond Miller. Put in Alyssa Peely. Put in these players for the rest of the third quarter. Make some changes because y'all are playing like crap. Absolute crap, guys. Absolute. So that's what I got to say. That's what I got to say. They are playing horrible. And if your team is playing this bad, put in your bench. Okay? Again, thank you so much, Dion, for the super chat. Says, I know your favorite team, but who is your favorite player? Mine is Kelsey Plum and Alicia Gray. However, Fever is my favorite team. My favorite player, my favorite current player. I like a lot of players. I'm a big fan of Alyssa Peely. I really like Satu. I really like Alyssa Thomas. I really like Paige. But who's my favorite, though? I don't know. I don't know if I really have a favorite. But those are, and Courtney Williams. I'm a huge fan of hers. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about who my favorite. I know my favorites like all time, but like favorite player currently, I don't know. I don't really know. All right, time is winding down. Kayla McBride with the basketball. Kayla tries to go for the reverse layup. I don't know what that was. Again, that looked bad. Lexi Hall, get to the Ari McDonald. Ari McDonald with the 3-point bucket. Come on, Indiana. Come on. Man. Kayla McBride for 3. Kayla misses the 3-point shot, but she does get fouled, and she is down. Kayla's walking it off. Yeah, that's not a good look. Kayla McBride is at the free throw line. Makes the first one. Sometimes you just need the ball to go in the basket a couple times, and we'll see if this will get Kayla McBride going. Because we all know that she can shoot in spurts. Makes the second free throw. Makes the third. All right. 11-point game. Sydney Colson with the basketball. Sydney. To Natasha Howard, who gets fouled. Yeah, the Lynx are playing terrible. They are playing absolutely horrible. Makes the first free throw. Michaela Timpson comes in the game for the Indiana Fever. All right, it's time for the Lynx to start cooking. You got a rookie down low. Nafisa, go down that court and post up. Dre, I completely agree. This is a very ugly game. Very ugly game. Alana Smith to Kayla McBride to Alana. Kayla McBride in the corner misses the shot. Nafisa Collier gets it out to McBride to Alana Smith for 3. That was a much, much needed shot for Indiana. Much needed shot. Wow. Dion, I did say that. I did say that because, again, based off of recent history. All right, recent history shows that that's the case. The last 2 seasons, the Commissioner's Cup and the WNBA Finals have identically matched. They have identically matched. All right. In 2023, we saw the Aces versus Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup in 2023. In that game, we saw the Liberty win the Commissioner's Cup, and then in the finals that same year in 2023, we saw that same matchup in the finals, but this time we saw the Aces win the championship. In 2024, last year, we saw the Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty in the Commissioner's Cup championship. We saw those two face up against each other for the Commissioner's Cup. In that game, we saw Minnesota get the win. Fast forward to the WNBA Finals. Once again, we have a matchup of the Minnesota Lynx versus the New York Liberty. In the finals, we saw the New York Liberty get the dub. So history over the last 2 seasons has shown us that the same teams that make the Commissioner's Cup are the same teams that will make the finals. Here's the deal. Will that happen this year? I don't know. But I will say it's a really good coincidence. Now, of course, that's not on purpose. Like I'm not saying that this is a conspiracy where it's on purpose, where there's a force by the league that's saying, you know what, we have to have this stuff matched. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that this is a really good coincidence. And you know, that's the thing. So yeah, that's what I got to say. Yeah, it was last touch on Sydney Colson. Yep. Successful challenge by Minnesota. The ball was last touched by Sydney Colson. All right, Minnesota with the basketball. Courtney Williams. Courtney, mid-range bucket, misses the shot. And Sasha Howard gets the rebound. Sydney Colson gets the screen to Kelsey Mitchell. Offensive foul on Natasha Howard. Yeah, actually, I mean, you kind of did see Jessica Shepard. Well, no. Yes, Jessica Shepard did have her hands up, and it looked initially like she may have pushed her, but in that replay, you don't really see it. Natisha Heidemann misses the 3-point shot. Natasha Howard has the basketball, gets it to Kelsey Mitchell. That was a moving screen. No foul was called on that. Natasha Howard off the backboard and in. All right, Minnesota needs to get the ball to Nafisa Collier. You got to get it to Fee. Courtney Williams with the ball. As Courtney Williams get called for the travel. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sydney Colson misses a shot. Michaela Timpson gets the rebound, tries to go for the putback, misses. Courtney Williams with the basketball. We got 11 on the shot clock and game clock. Courtney Williams gets to the rim. Courtney Williams gets fouled, and she's going to head to the line for 2 shots. No, Ghost. Dewana Bonner is no longer on the team. The Indiana Fever waived her, so no. Not that I don't believe she gets anything. Unless there's some reporting that says she does, but from what I understand, no, she does not. All right, we have reached. Natisha Heidemann ended up going down on that last play. She is holding her shoulder in pain. Well, with that, guys, we have reached the end of the third quarter, guys. The Indiana Fever have a 10-point lead in a very, very low-scoring game. 52 Indiana, 42 Minnesota. We will see what the fourth quarter has to say, but I'm going to tell you this. This is looking more and more like an Indiana Fever victory, guys. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting this to be a game that opened up severely in the fourth quarter for the Minnesota Lynx, and looks like we're probably not getting that. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see, guys. Idea says Prime picture quality is horrible. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of Amazon Prime. I'm not. Primarily because I don't think I can, like, you can't, like, with games on regular TV or League Pass or whatever, you can, like, rewind. You can't rewind in Amazon Prime. If you miss it, you just miss it. You cannot rewind in real time. And you can do that on just about everything else. Alana says, this is definitely not how I thought this game was going to go. I mean, the Lynx can still win, but they have to show up for the fourth. They absolutely do. They got to get it together. Go says it's an ugly game, defensive heavy, poor shooting percentages on both sides. Nobody can catch a flow. Yeah. Chanel says Natasha Howard, Commissioner's Cup MVP right now. Yeah, right now, yes, Natasha Howard for MVP right now. We'll see how the fourth quarter goes. Yeah, Amelia, Amazon Prime is a necessary evil. Yep. The league is getting money from it, so hey, we got to deal with it. Hold on, I'll read this at the next break. All right, Jessica Shepard, Nafisa Collier, misses the shot, passes out. Kayla McBride for three, misses the shot, and yeah, good foul call. Sophie Cunningham was fouling Jessica Shepard, so good call for the refs. And she's like, "Hey, where's the foul? You fouled her. Come on now, you fouled her." All right, so the Minnesota Lynx will have another shot, another opportunity, I should say. Shepard decides to take it herself. Shepard gets fouled by Aaliyah, and Aaliyah's like, what? I tell you, Aaliyah is another one of those players who never thinks they fouled anybody. Yeah, you fouled her. You fouled her. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you, she is always like, what foul? Oh my goodness, what are you talking about, ref? It was a foul. Come on, girl. You hit a hand. It's a foul. It's a foul. There's just certain players who always complain about everything. And Leah Boston is one of those players. Yeah, on that, she missed the second shot. Last touched by Timpson. It is staying with the Minnesota Lynx. This could be the thing that gets them going. We'll see. Courtney Williams with the basketball. To Nafisa Collier. Fee for three. Misses. She can't hit nothing today. Nothing. Ari McDonald gets the screen. Sydney Colson gets it down low to Aaliyah Boston. AB airballs the shot. Courtney Williams with the basketball. Courtney. Oh my goodness. Misses the reverse layup, but it is cleaned up by Jessica Shepard. Wow. A little bit of a run for the Minnesota Lynx. Short run, but a run nonetheless. It is a 8-point game as the Indiana Fever are trying to keep control of their lead, and the Minnesota Lynx are trying to knock that thing down piece by piece. All right. Thank you so much, D-Time, for the super chat. Says, women's basketball Mount Rushmore is Cheryl Miller, Cynthia Cooper, Diana Taurasi, and Maya Moore. No current player will replace these GOATs. Okay. All right. Anybody got any reactions to what D-Time has to say? Again, thanks for the super chat. I wouldn't personally have that Mount Rushmore, and also maybe one of these current players can replace one of the GOATs. Here's the thing, anything can happen. We don't know. We don't know ultimately the careers that some of these players will have. So yeah. That's that. Also, I just gotta say, I don't know how you do a Mount Rushmore of women's basketball players and you don't have Candace Parker on that list. Like, I don't know. I think that's kind of strange of sorts, because of how great of a player Candace Parker has been. But yeah, any reactions to that list, guys? Ryan says I got 4K on the line, so Fever better win. Here's the thing: stop doing sports betting. Seriously, like it is a horrible pastime to do. I'm like straight up. Sports betting ruins thousands and thousands and thousands of lives every year, probably hundreds of thousands, and it makes basketball more of a sports in general, I should say. It's less entertainment and more like, you better do this thing for me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, sports is entertainment. That's the whole point of sports, right? If you want to get into the speculation economy, trade stocks and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all of sports betting. I actually think it's terrible for the future of sports. Absolutely terrible. But waste your money if you want to. Waste your money if you want to. The whole purpose of sports betting is because the books make way more money than you will ever make. And most people will get got. Aaliyah Boston gets the tough bucket down low. Tom, why are you making up lies about people? Number one, no. I don't, whatever gummy you're talking about, I don't do that. I don't drink. I don't do none of that stuff. If that's what y'all want to do, y'all do whatever y'all want to do. But don't be saying that I'm doing stuff that I'm not. Like, come on now. Like, that's actually really not funny. I don't find that funny at all. I don't find that funny at all. All right. Ari McDonald with the basketball. Ari. Man, this Indiana Fever team is just finding ways to score. Wow, wow, wow. All right. Alana Smith got hit in the face by Ari McDonald. As a foul. I will say, oh, wouldn't it be different if this happened to the other way around, right? She got hit in the face. It was a foul call. We moved on. It wasn't a conspiracy that people are trying to injure Alana Smith. I'm just saying. Okay. Alana Smith misses a three-point shot. Sydney Colson has the basketball. Gets it to Aaliyah Boston. AB misses the shot. Rebound goes to Nafisa Collier. Collier to Kayla McBride. To Courtney Williams. Jessica Shepard makes the tough bucket. Sophie Cunningham gets to the rim and makes the bucket. Courtney Williams gets it to Nafisa Collier. Collier gets the ball stripped away. Last touched. Wow, by Minnesota. Guys, I am blown away by this game. This is not what I expected, but I tell you this, I am thoroughly entertained. Not by the good play. We have seen some horrible offense, but we have seen some really good defense. And we have seen this Indiana Fever team sort of grind out this game and win ugly. Sometimes that's what you got to do, man. And they're absolutely doing it. And Sasha Howard, travel. Ball is going to the Minnesota Lynx. Kings crowd, it shows in my face that I am tired. It shows in my face that I am exhausted. What am I supposed to do? Ooh, very nice shot by Courtney Williams. You all believe whatever you want to believe. I like whatever team. I dislike whatever team. Whatever narrative makes you happy in life, you think of that narrative. That's fine. It's not the truth, but you think whatever you want. Kelsey Mitchell. Ooh, that was about to be crazy if she would have made that. Kelsey Mitchell. Ooh, ball ends up with Courtney Williams. She gets it to Nafisa Collier. The crowd is going up a little bit. They're seeing something. That was a bad place to pick up your dribble. Kayla McBride to Courtney Williams. Courtney to Alana Smith. Almost turns over the basketball to Nafisa Collier. And Aaliyah Boston is called for the foul. Here's the thing. I react to all other teams the same exact way as the Fever, except for when the Sky are playing, because you all know I like the Sky, and I tell you that up front. But I cover it the same way. It's just you see it a different way. That's fine, but at the same time, y'all think whatever y'all want to think. Okay? Kentucky Rick says, sounds like a new shirt. Sometimes you got to win ugly. Yeah, I agree. Chanel says, Quita, how do you feel about Detroit and Cleveland coming back and Philly getting added? Well, I made a whole stream about it, a whole live stream about it this morning. Make sure to check that out. There's pros and cons for sure. Caitlin McBride makes a second free throw. I agree with LaChina Robinson. She said that the refs, like it or not, the refs have called this game pretty consistently. Like I'm not upset with the refs in some of their calls and no calls. It has been pretty consistent. Kelsey Mitchell with the basketball gets it to Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham makes the 3-point bucket. Wow. What a shot. What a shot. What a shot. Seemed like the Minnesota Lynx were crawling back in this one, and Sophie was like, nah. Great pass by Kelsey Mitchell, and Sophie with the 3. And we have hit another timeout on the floor, guys. We got 4 minutes and 11 seconds left to go. When we come back, it will be Minnesota basketball, and they have a whole lot to catch up to. They got a lot of work to do in the next 4 minutes. Will they do it at this point? No, I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll absolutely see as the game happens. I appreciate it, Kevin. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate it. All right, guys. How do y'all feel now? How do y'all feel now? All right. What do the Sky have to do with this game? But when it comes to women's basketball, there is only one team in all of women's basketball, college, WNBA, overseas, actually 2 teams. There's only 2 teams I root for. 2 teams in all of women's basketball, in all of its forms. 2 teams. 1 is Team USA. 2 is the Chicago Sky. There are 2 teams I root for. Okay? All other teams, I don't care. I don't care who wins. I want to see a fun game. It doesn't matter to me. So if your favorite team is not one of those teams, I'm not rooting for your team to win every game. I don't care if your team wins. I don't care if your team loses. I watch games because I enjoy them. I watch a lot of women's basketball because I love it. I think it's fun. Okay? And I say what I see. If your team is the better team, I like underdogs. So in this game, the underdog is Indiana. So if Indiana pulls off this upset, this is fun for me. Because number one, they're not supposed to win. And if they win, I think that's going to be fun. I think that's something I'm going to laugh about. That's something I'm going to enjoy. Right? However, if this is another game and another team is underdog, I want the underdog to win. Hey! Did y'all just see Janelle McCarville and Sylvia Fowles in the crowd? They sit in front row. Did y'all just see that? Legends. Bridget Carlton gets it to Nafisa Collier, who can't make a shot. Once again, it goes off the rim. Wow, they are playing terrible. Ball goes inside to Aaliyah Boston. AB. AB. I will say this. That was a foul on both players. Because Aaliyah Boston was pushing off. And Nafisa Collier did foul her in the end. Yeah. That was offensive foul. It was an offensive foul, and then after that, there was a defensive foul by Nafisa Collier. Here's the deal. Stop letting all that stuff frustrate you and just play. Just hoop. Deion says feet hacking, but did you see the offensive foul right before that? Did you see the offensive foul? I'm just saying. Natisha Heidemann makes the shot and gets fouled. Okay. This feels like a little bit too little too late, but we'll see. Good job by Heidemann. All right, we have hit a timeout. All right, 3:30 in the game. The score is 65 Indiana, 53 Minnesota. All right. Let's see what happens, guys. Let's see. Eric, thanks so much for the super chat. Says, stop lying. No love for Northwestern. Like the University of Northwestern? I mean, they're cool. I mean, I don't know what do you want them to be my favorite team? I don't know. They cool. All right, and Tisha Heidemann with the basketball. Oh, misses a free throw. All right. Sydney Colson with the basketball, guarded by Natisha. Sydney to Sophie. To Aaliyah Boston down low. AB turns, faces. Actually decides to back down. Aaliyah Boston. Girl, what a move. What a move, what a move, what a move. Nafisa with the basketball. Gets it to Courtney Williams. Misses the shot. Nafisa Collier gets the putback. 12-point game. Again, we got less than 3 minutes left to go. It's kind of too late, but we'll see. Sydney Colson with the basketball. Tasha Howard. Sophie Cunningham gets to the rim. Sophie Cunningham gets fouled. All right, the referees are reviewing if the shot happened before the foul, which I think it did. I mean, if the foul happened before the shot clock violation, which I believe the foul did happen before that. Yeah, the foul happened before that. Yep. All right, guys. The thing that we did not expect to happen is happening, and hey, you gotta love the underdog. Shout out to the Indiana Fever. They came out of this game not looking very good in that first quarter, but they got it together in the second quarter. Ended up finishing out the first half with the lead, shutting down in a lot of ways, shutting down who I have as the MVP of the league in Nafisa Collier, and Natasha Howard, Aaliyah Boston have done their big one. Sophie Cunningham as well with those threes. And this game seems just about over. Kayla McBride for a quick trigger shot. She misses. Rebound goes to Nafisa Collier, who gets the putback. Again, too little, too late. The game is basically over. The game is basically over. James, leave. Why waste a whole bunch of time posting a comment about something you are not interested in? If you ain't interested, leave. Bye-bye. Have a nice one. All right. But y'all know the motto. Anybody can get got. Sydney Colson misses a shot. Courtney Williams gets to the rim, makes the shot. Colson picks up a dribble. Gets it, Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell with the mid-range bucket. And guys. It's over, it's over, it's over, it's over. Woo-hoo-hoo. Wow. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Okay. How embarrassing. Wow. We're going to do a recap in just a sec once the game is officially over. But, wow. Wow. Another easy layup missed. Dang. All right, Kelsey Mitchell with the basketball. Gets the screen. Kelsey Mitchell, is she going to score again? Ball gets knocked out of bounds. It is staying with the Indiana Fever. Wow. 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 All right. Sophie with the ball. Gets it to Lexi for the dagger. Lexi Hole with the 3-point bucket. It's over. It's been over, but you know. Yeah, no. Diamond Miller gets to the rim. Once again, another horrible layup missed. Like, just terrible play all around. Just terrible play all around as. Guys, let's let's go through this. Okay? Let's go through this. The game is officially over. The game. Congratulations to Stephanie White, her staff, the entire. The game is officially over. As the unthinkable happens. We have finished the Commissioner's Cup game. And coming into this game, I expected the Minnesota Lynx to win, and I expected them to win by more than 10 points. Instead, we see the Indiana Fever get the dub in a what I would consider a quite ugly win. Final score 74-59. So instead of Minnesota winning by 10 plus points, the Fever did it. The Fever did it. 74-59. And you want to know how they did it? And you want to know who they did it without? Caitlin Clark. All right, we back. Okay, I don't know what just happened. Sorry about that. How much did y'all miss of what I was saying? Looks like my battery pack died. Sorry about that. Basically, what I was trying to say is the Indiana Fever took it to the Minnesota Lynx in this game. This was a tale of the first quarter and then the rest of the game. In the first quarter, the Minnesota Lynx were absolutely doing their thing. They looked really, really good. They were rocking and rolling, scoring buckets, doing their normal thing, right? And then we go into the second quarter where I don't know what Stephanie White said. Hopefully we'll find out in the post-game presser. I don't know what she said, but whatever Stephanie White said got this team in their defensive bag. For Indiana, largely, we've been focusing a lot on their offense, right? Focus a whole bunch on their offense, but today they win by defense, and it started in the second quarter when it came to players like Sydney Colson, who came off the bench, giving some fantastic defense. It was Aaliyah Boston stepping up on her big one down low against Nafisa Collier. It was good shots being made at the right time, second chance opportunities that did not always capitalize in points for the Fever, but it capitalized in frustration that the Minnesota Lynx felt in this game, and this was a game where the Fever win not necessarily by their offense. I would say their defense is what won them this game. In that second quarter, clearly Stephanie White must have challenged them to say, hey, I know you playing the best team in the WNBA. However, we the Indiana Fever. We can make this stuff happen. All it takes is one stop at a time, and that's exactly what they had in this game. One stop at a time. And they frustrated Minnesota. There was a period in this game in the second quarter where it was about 8 minutes or so where Indiana did not allow Minnesota to score at all. At all, guys. It's crazy, right? When we look at this game, we are in the second quarter. We are in the second quarter, guys. And they just announced Natasha Howard wins the MVP of the Commissioner's Cup. Very well deserved. Natasha Howard was on her big one today. She was 4 of 10 from the field, 16 points for her, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. She was doing a little bit of everything, okay? A little bit of everything for Natasha Howard. Yes, absolutely deserving of this MVP award. I know some of y'all been critical of Natasha Howard, but she was on her big one today. She was on her big one today. And I got to talk about again the defense. Jessica Shepard scores in the second quarter with 8 minutes and 13 seconds left to go. 8 minutes and 13 seconds left to go. The score is, in the second quarter, the score is Indiana 14, Minnesota 27. Remember that score. Indiana 14, Minnesota 27, with 8 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the second quarter. We fast forward to the end of the second quarter. What's the score? 32, Indiana, 27, Minnesota. The Minnesota Lynx does not score for 8 minutes in the second quarter. They were frustrated. The reason why they were frustrated is because Indiana was taking it to them on the defensive end. Indiana was physical. They were frustrating the mess out of the Minnesota Lynx players. Frustrating them. Getting under their skin. I saw so many times where Minnesota Lynx players were getting frustrated. They were complaining to the refs. They were kind of metaphorically throwing up their hands in this one. Just upset, frustrated, just mad, complaining. All the while, Indiana was just focused. One stop at a time. One stop at a time. And the defense that Indiana was playing led to really good opportunities on the offensive end. It led to Natasha Howard being able to, in some instances, sort of score at will in the post. It led to really awesome three-point opportunities by Sophie Cunningham when she knocked down, 4 threes in today's game? Or 3 threes? 13 points off the bench for Sophie Cunningham. Big time threes for her. It was Ari McDonald knocking down 3-point shots and getting good looks. It was Kelsey Mitchell doing a little bit of everything, getting good looks from the 3 and the mid-range and getting to the bucket. And it was in the post, Natasha Howard and Aaliyah Boston, who did not allow the MVP to be her normal self. Okay, hello? All right. Guys, I have no idea what's going on. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's wrap this up because clearly I'm not meant to finish this stream. Clearly I'm not meant to finish it. Okay. Anyway, what I was trying to say is that the Minnesota Lynx were frustrated, and when you get under a team's skin early, you force them to make dumb mistakes as the game goes on. You force them into rush shots, shots that are just slightly off, shots that normally they would be making and they're missing. Right? Nafisa Collier goes 6 of 18 from the field. That's not normal for her. How did that happen? What happened on defense for Indiana? It happened with Natasha Howard and Aaliyah Boston trying their best to shut down one of the best players in the WNBA. And they did. It means giving her bumps every now and then. Bumping her. And making sure you don't get called for the foul. It means contesting every single thing. And not giving up on defense. When we look at Stephanie White and the type of teams that she coaches defensive teams. And that's what she was supposed to bring to this Indiana Fever team, right? They had last year, they had a lot of offense, but she was supposed to bring defense. And she did. I mean, look at this game. This game shows the defense and how defense won the game for Indiana. Yes, this game was ugly. But sometimes you got to win ugly. In today's game, we saw a lot of missed easy buckets. We saw several situations where Minnesota missed the makeable layup to go to and then Indiana on the other end missed the makeable layup as well. We saw dumb decisions, dumb passes. We saw just ugly shots, air balls. We saw everything in this game. This was not a pretty game. This was not a good first impression of the WNBA. It wasn't. That's not what this game was. However, but there are some times that you just gotta win ugly. There's sometimes. Sometimes you gotta win ugly. And that's exactly what the Indiana Fever did. No one expected them to win. Well, their fans expected them to win, of course. But the majority of people who are just like hoop fans that were neutral observers probably expected Minnesota to win. But what a surprise. What a surprise. And sometimes you got to pop out and show people that, hey, you are more than what people think you are. And without Caitlin Clark, this Indiana Fever team was like, hey, we're going to do it on the defensive end. Defense is going to lead to offense. And dog. Come on now. The proof is in the pudding. 74-59 for the Indiana Fever. So shout out to the Fever. I think this was a really, really, really good game for them. A really good confidence win. And like, hey, you don't have to just do it on the offensive end. You could do it on the defensive end as well. So that is the game. That is my recap of it. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Sorry about all the random sound issues. I don't know. I gotta figure. I do know. I think my battery pack just died. I think that's what it is. So my apologies on that. I think I have to do a better job at charging that beforehand. But hey. Anthony says respect is earned the hard way, and I'm sure the Indiana Fever earned a lot more respect today with the way that they won today, right? With the way that they won, and according to Skyscraper, I am a hater. The proof is in the pudding. I guess I am, Skyscraper. I guess I am. Because clearly, Skyscraper knows more than I know about myself. Whoever you are, Skyscraper, without your real name, clearly you know me. Clearly you do. What else, oh wise sage? What else about me do you know? What else? Who else do I hate? What else am I a hater of? I'm very, very much curious. Because clearly, you know me more than I know myself. You know me more than I know myself. Okay? If you don't understand, I'm being facetious. If you don't get it. Anyway. Y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good day. Because clearly, people be knowing. People be knowing. And I'm just curious. What else do I not know about myself? What else do I not know? All right. All right. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good day. Skyscraper, maybe come to another live stream. I think this is the first time I've ever seen you in a live stream before. Clearly, you know I'm a hater. So, please come back to the next one. I'm very curious to hear what else I am. Okay? What else am I? Please let me know. Curious. Thank you, oh wise sage. You. All right, y'all have a good one. Y'all have a good one. Be kind. Be respectful. Don't randomly lie about people. Don't randomly say stuff that is dumb for no reason. Y'all have a good one. Guys, I love you. But guys, most importantly, more than me loving you, guys, Jesus loves you. And he truly, truly wants a relationship with you. So if that's the only thing you get from this, get a relationship with Jesus. That's the only thing that actually matters. This game does not matter. Who cares? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, none of these games matter. But the one thing that does matter more than anything else in the world is your relationship with Jesus. Do you have one? That's the most important thing. So I'll leave you with that. You can ponder about that on the rest of your night. Y'all have a good one. Be kind, be respectful. And I will see y'all in the morning, guys. Until next time. Bye-bye.